Introduction. Have you ever hit a point in life where everything feels like it's crumbling? Where no matter how hard you try, things just keep going wrong, and you're left feeling helpless, frustrated, and exhausted? Maybe you lost someone you love. Maybe your plans fell apart. Or maybe you're just stuck in a cycle of stress and anxiety, wondering if things will ever get better. We all face these moments. They're a part of life. But how we respond to them, that's what truly defines us. Now imagine having a mindset that doesn't panic under pressure, one that stays calm in chaos, focused in uncertainty, and even finds meaning in pain. That's exactly what the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers. And no, Stoicism isn't about being cold or suppressing your feelings. It's about strengthening your inner world so that no matter what's happening on the outside, you remain centered and clear. The Stoics, people like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, faced wars, exile, loss, and betrayal. But through it all, they developed powerful principles that still apply today, especially when life gets hard. In this video, I'm going to share 7 Stoic lessons that have personally helped me navigate tough times. These aren't abstract theories, they're practical, powerful mindsets that you can start using today. If you're feeling overwhelmed, lost, or just looking for a way to handle life's challenges with more clarity and control, stick around. Because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand Stoicism, you'll be able to live it. Let's get into it. 1. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. This is the foundation of Stoicism, and honestly, it's one of the most liberating lessons you'll ever learn. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, said it best. Some things are up to us and some things are not. Think about how much time and energy we waste trying to control things that are completely outside of our influence. We stress over how people see us. We obsess about outcomes. We try to manage other people's emotions or force situations to unfold a certain way, and when they don't, we spiral. That's exactly what I did when I lost my job. At the time, I couldn't stop asking, why did this happen? What will people think? What if I can't bounce back? But none of those questions actually helped. They only fed my anxiety. It wasn't until I stumbled across that core Stoic principle, focus only on what's in your control, that something shifted. I realized I couldn't control the past. I couldn't control how others viewed me, but I could control how I responded. I could choose to sulk, or I could start planning my next step. I could drown in resentment, or I could use the experience to grow stronger and wiser. That's what Stoicism is about. It's not passive acceptance, it's powerful clarity. It's the ability to separate the chaos of the world from your own thoughts, actions, and values. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to carry every burden. You just have to focus on the part of the storm you can steer you. So ask yourself this. Right now, what am I trying to control that I actually can't? And what is in my power that I've been neglecting? Because once you make that distinction, what's up to you and what's not, life doesn't get easier, but it does get a lot clearer. 2. Memento mori, remember you will die. I know this sounds dark at first. Remember you will die? Why would anyone want to think about that, especially when life is already hard? But hear me out. The Stoics believed that contemplating death wasn't morbid, it was motivating. They called it memento mori, which literally means remember that you will die. And not as a way to be afraid of death, but to wake up to life. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This isn't about living in fear, it's about living with urgency, because when you're truly aware that your time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop arguing over things that don't matter. You stop holding on to grudges. You stop postponing your dreams, thinking you'll get around to it someday. Someday might never come. I remember being at a funeral a few years ago. The kind that pulls you out of your everyday rhythm and makes you question everything. And I realized how easy it is to drift through life, thinking we have all the time in the world. But we don't. And that's not meant to scare you, it's meant to free you. Because if today was your last day, how would you show up? What would you say to the people you love? What would you stop worrying about? Memento mori strips away the noise. It forces you to zoom out and see what actually matters. And in the middle of chaos, when life feels hard, unfair, overwhelming, this mindset reminds you, you don't control how long you live, but you do control how you live. So the next time you're stuck in traffic, or dealing with someone's bad attitude, or drowning in stress, pause, take a breath, and remember, this moment, like all moments, won't last forever. You're alive right now. Don't waste it. 3. Amor fati. Love your fate. Let me ask you something. What's one thing in your life you wish never happened? Maybe it was a heartbreak, a failure, a loss, something that left a scar you still carry. Now imagine if instead of wishing it away, you looked at that moment and said, "Thank you. I needed that." That's amor fati, the Stoic idea of loving your fate. Not just accepting it, but embracing it as if you had chosen it. It's a radical mindset. Most of us resist the things we don't like. We complain, we fight reality, we wish things were different. But Stoicism flips that completely. Epictetus said, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually does. Then your life will flow well." In other words, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What can I do with this?" When I first heard this, I didn't get it. How can you love something that hurts? But the more I sat with it, the more it made sense. Life isn't always supposed to be comfortable. Growth doesn't come from ease, it comes from friction. That breakup, it taught you what you really deserve. That job you lost, it pushed you towards something better. That betrayal, it woke you up to who's really on your side. Amor fati doesn't mean you enjoy suffering. It means you trust that there's meaning in it. It's the mindset that says, this isn't what I planned, but maybe it's what I needed. This challenge, I'll turn it into strength. This failure, it's fuel. When you start loving your fate, nothing can break you because every twist, every setback becomes part of your story. Not the part you skip over, but the part that defines you. So the next time life throws something unexpected your way, don't resist it. Welcome it. Work with it. Say, amor fati, and keep moving forward. Practice voluntary discomfort. Let's be real, most of us spend our lives trying to be as comfortable as possible. We want warm beds, fast Wi-Fi, easy conversations, stress-free workdays, and a perfect plan for everything. But here's the problem. Life doesn't care about your comfort. It will challenge you whether you're ready or not. And that's why the Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, would occasionally wear rough clothes, sleep on the floor, or eat the simplest food, not because he had to, but because he chose to. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, saying to yourself, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" In other words, test yourself. Get uncomfortable on purpose. Why? Because if you choose discomfort in small doses, it won't control you when it shows up unexpectedly. It's like training for life. Fasting for a day reminds you that hunger won't kill you. Taking cold showers proves that discomfort is temporary. Having hard conversations teaches you not to fear tension. I tried this once by taking a social media break, not for fun, but to sit with boredom and distraction. And guess what? The first day sucked, but by day 3 I felt clearer, calmer, and more focused than I had in months. The Stoics weren't preparing for imaginary hardship, they were building mental armor. Because when you know you can endure something small, you're better equipped to handle something big. You stop fearing worst-case scenarios because you've already sampled them. Voluntary discomfort isn't about suffering for the sake of suffering. It's about training your mind to stay calm, steady, and strong, no matter what life throws at you. So the next time you feel yourself avoiding discomfort, ask, what if I leaned into it just a little? What if this temporary pain is actually preparing me for something greater? Because strength isn't built in ease, it's built in resistance. 5. The obstacle is the way. There's a quote from Marcus Aurelius that completely shifted how I see challenges. He said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Let that sink in for a second. The thing blocking your path, it is the path. Most of us treat obstacles like roadblocks. We see them, we get frustrated, we stop. We think, this isn't supposed to be happening, or why is this so hard? But the Stoics looked at those exact moments as opportunities in disguise. The challenge isn't stopping you, it's shaping you. Think about it. Every strong, successful, grounded person you admire, they didn't get there in spite of their obstacles. They got there because of them. That painful failure, it humbled you. That rejection, it pushed you towards something better. That loss, it deepened your gratitude. I remember a time when I was working toward a big goal and everything seemed to go wrong. Delays, setbacks, people letting me down. It felt like the universe was telling me to give up. But looking back, I realize the struggle didn't stop me. It refined me. It forced me to get creative, become more resilient, and find a deeper why behind what I was doing. The Stoics believed that obstacles are part of nature's design. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And once you adopt this mindset, something powerful happens. You stop seeing problems as personal attacks. You stop wasting energy resisting what's already happening. You start asking, how can I use this? That's the key. So the next time life throws a wrench in your plans, don't panic. Don't retreat. Look the obstacle in the eye and say, this isn't in the way. This is the way. Because every wall is a door if you're willing to push through it. 6. Keep a journal. When you think of Stoicism, journaling might not be the first thing that comes to mind, but it's one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic toolkit. And get this, Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, one of the most powerful men in history, kept a journal, not for fame, not for followers, but for himself. That journal became Meditations, a book still changing lives nearly 2,000 years later. Why did he do it? Because writing is a way to see your thoughts. It slows your mind down. It makes the invisible visible. It helps you separate what is from what you think is happening. The Stoics journaled to reflect, to challenge themselves, and to reinforce their values. They didn't wait for life to make sense. They used writing to make sense of life. Personally, I didn't start journaling because I wanted to be philosophical. I started because my mind felt like a mess. Thoughts racing, emotions overwhelming. I needed clarity. And when I finally sat down and wrote, what am I feeling right now? What can I control? What would the wise version of me do? Something shifted. I didn't need to solve everything in that moment. I just needed to be present with it. That's the magic of journaling. It's not about writing the perfect sentence. It's about creating space to process, to reflect, to grow. It helps you track patterns, like how you react to stress. It helps you stay accountable, reminding you of the kind of person you want to be. And it helps you respond instead of react. Seneca once said, we should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passion opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired? You don't need to write a novel, just a few honest lines a day. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I slip? What can I do better tomorrow? Your journal becomes a mirror, a compass, a quiet conversation with your higher self. And in a world that moves fast, journaling is your chance to slow down and come home to your mind. 7. You are not your emotions. When life gets tough, it's easy to get swept away by how you feel. Anger, sadness, fear, anxiety. They crash in like waves, and if you're not careful, you start believing you are those waves. But the Stoics knew better. They taught that your emotions are temporary visitors, not permanent identities. You feel anger, but you are not anger. You feel sadness, but you are not sadness. There's a gap between stimulus and response, and that is where your power lives. Epictetus put it simply, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. Think about that. It's not the traffic jam that ruins your day. It's the story you tell yourself about it. It's not the criticism that crushes you, it's your interpretation of what it means. Now, the Stoics weren't robots. They felt emotion too, but they didn't let emotion drive. Instead, they observed it, questioned it. Is this feeling useful right now? Is it based on facts or assumptions? Will this matter in a week, a month, a year? I remember once being overwhelmed with anxiety over a decision I had to make. It felt huge, life-altering. I couldn't sleep, couldn't focus. But when I sat with it, journaled it out, and stepped back from the storm in my head, I saw that most of my stress wasn't about the situation. It was about the fear stories I'd created around it. The Stoics remind us, you are the sky, your emotions are the weather. Clouds come and go, storms rise and pass, but the sky remains. So the next time emotion hits hard, pause, feel it, but don't become it. Observe it, but don't obey it. Ask, what would the wisest version of me do right now? Because emotions are signals, not commands. You don't have to suppress them. You don't have to follow them. You just have to remember, you are not your emotions. You are the one who chooses how to respond. Conclusion. So, there you have it. 7 Stoic lessons that can help you when life gets tough. But here's the truth. It's not enough to just understand these principles. The magic happens when you start living them. By learning to control what you can and letting go of what you can't, you gain the freedom to focus on what truly matters. By embracing memento mori, you remember that life is precious. Every moment is an opportunity not to be wasted. With amor fati, you'll shift your mindset from fighting your circumstances to loving them, trusting that each obstacle is preparing you for something greater. And by practicing voluntary discomfort, you'll train your mind to stay strong, resilient, and adaptable, no matter what life throws your way. When you view challenges as the path rather than something in the way, you'll find that every setback is an invitation to grow. Journaling will help you reflect, process, and reconnect with your true self. And finally, by understanding that you are not your emotions, you free yourself from the constant pull of feelings that can cloud your judgment and decision-making. The Stoics didn't have it easy. They faced wars, exiles, and personal losses, but they learned to thrive because they chose how to respond. You can do the same. So the next time life gets hard, remember these lessons. You have the tools to not just survive, but to flourish, even in the toughest times. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.